The choice between Searing Blaze and Flame Rift really depends on what the expected matchup's going to be. If you're going to see like more creatures, then you want to have obviously the Searing Blaze. If you're going to see much more combo and like uninteractive decks such as like Hive Mind, Storm, those kind of decks, you want basically to reduce them to 0 as fast as possible and flow Flame.
Speaking of Hive Mind and Storm, we have yet to see any of that this weekend.
No, really hasn't been a lot of those decks, and I think they've like fallen prey to Esper Stoneblade and Rug Delver. Both are very actually good interactive versus them. They have things like Spell Pierce, Force of Will, Daze. All these cards are like really hamper the ability of the combo decks and the non-interactive kind of spell decks to really like push for a quicker win.
All right, I'll put you on the spot here. Esper Stoneblade, Mono Red Burn, who has the advantage just right now if you're looking at the deck list?
Looking at the deck list, Mono Red. I think the big strength of the Stoneblade deck is to get a Stoneforge Mystic and then search up for either Jitte or Batterskull. The problem is that there's so many burn spells that can keep like the ability of equipping either a Jitte or like vialing in a Batterskull. So I think also, especially playing Searing Blaze, Ali has a huge advantage here. Okay, looks like we're starting.
Yes. All right, let's see. We have...
See who's going first. I think that...
This is really important, because if Ali goes first, this really could help him as far as the advantage goes. Oh.
Okay, so Javier is first. Ali drawing a really important kind of turn 1 play. It's like a Goblin Guide. Goblin Guide misses and reveals a Snapcaster Mage. So bring Javier down to 18.
And for Ali, can't be more thrilled than having that as a start.
Yeah, so Goblin Guide's super important to get on turn 1. Like, basically represents something like 4 to 6 damage, which means that the amount of work that he has to do with spells directly is like vastly reduced.
Well, and it takes advantage of the fact that Javier, in this case, he's helping Ali by every time he gets rid of a land, a sacrificed land, it's taking him 1 less.
Okay, so there's a Spell Pierce revealed by Goblin Guide. Actually, one of the funny things about Goblin Guide is the drawback, which is obviously allowing your opponent to get a land. Sometimes is a boon because it allows them to know exactly what they need to play around. Kind of acts as this kind of a bit more of information, allows you to kind of like time your burn spells a bit better. In this case, obviously he shuffled away the Pierce, but in many cases it actually gives the red player more information.
I know Javier shuffled away the Pierce, but I'm almost wondering if he's going to miss the fact of not having that Pierce against Searing Blaze.
Yeah, it's very possible. Pierce is a very good card versus Mono Red. One of the tenets of Patrick Sullivan is for this is that you should always play around Pierce if you can afford to do so. Don't be stupid enough to kind of like, play into it. Grim Lavamancer is like particularly good in this matchup too. It suppresses both Stoneforge, Click, and Snapcaster Mage, which really puts a hurt on Javier's ability to like have to land a Jitte.
Okay, well he's got the top going now, which is really good for him to get going there, to be able to search through his cards, be able to figure out what he wants out of his deck. Helps set up things like Terminus.
Yeah, so there's a Rift Bolt that hits Javier. Top is obviously 1/2 of the control combo of it seems actually he doesn't actually
he's not running
counterbalance, which is usually paired with top. So in his hand he has a counterspell, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Terminus, and one other card. I can't tell. Counterspell is actually like, you know, not a card you see a lot of. Usually there's one counterspell, which is funny. I mean, there used to be the days where there's like a ton of counters, like you generate 4 all the time. I think the other reactive spells have become a lot better. I mean, like the ability of spell pierce basically covers a lot of the ground that counterspell used to cover. Force of will, swords, the ability to have Terminus.
Okay, that will be met by a counterspell.
Yeah, so that was a Sulfuric Vortex. That's an enchantment, red 1. Each player's upkeep, they they get dealt 2 damage, and players can't get life, which is a huge deal when it comes to dealing with Batterskull and Umezawa's Jitte.
Yeah. And another card that I really like in Ollie's deck is Price of Progress, because there are so many dual lands out there that Price of Progress can be. Now in this case, he doesn't have any out, but most times against most players, you're looking at this being a 4 and 8 point damage spell, which is really critical. It can take. I mean, if he had 4 of them out there right now, it'd take him to 4.
Yeah, and Javier is obviously very, very aware of the Burn deck list, because he's actually searched for 2 of his lands, both basics. He didn't go for his dual lands, and he only has like 3 basics in his deck. So, like with it, when he was first forced to search with his Polluted Delta, he had to get a non-basic. It's very possible, and some people basically refuse to search out unless they absolutely need to, and he needed to get the 4 lands so he could catch his Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Okay.
Now we get to see basically what his plan is going to be, either bouncing the Grim Lavamancer to try and like stop a shock, or it looks like he's going up or down. It looks like he's going up.
So Fate Seal.
So he's going to Fate Seal. He's going to leave it on top, which generally indicates a burn land. But I'm sure Ali has some amount of burn spells in his hand. So there's a Rift Bolt.
Again.
And this looks like a Bolt or a Chain Lightning right here.
Oh,
another
really.
Okay, so I think he's just going to go for the Dome. Basically, I think he doesn't care about the ability of Javier to Fate Seal or...
if he has the cards in hand, he doesn't have to worry about him Fate Sealing.
So the good thing about having a Wooded Foothills in play is if Javier decided to actually Fate Seal him, he could actually shuffle it away if he left it on top.
I'm almost going to wonder if it's going to get to the point where Javier is going to have to waste that Swords to Plowshares on the Grim Lavamancer just to get it out of the way, because again, it's another way of getting quick damage in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like, Javier's effectively on 3 if he uses the Lavamancer and gets 2 bolts. So if he doesn't plow it right now, he'll actually like be on effective 1, because Ali actually has 4 cards in his graveyard.
All right, let's see what he does. Yep, he's going to play the Sword to Plowshares.
Yep, so he plays it. Now, I'd be very surprised if he didn't actually use it, and he does. Definitely targeting Javier and not redirecting to Jace the Mind Sculptor. Putting him to 9 with the 2 suspended Rift Bolts. He's basically at 3 next turn.
1 Lightning Bolt away.
1 Lightning Bolt, 1 Chain Lightning, 1 Rift Bolt, 1 Lava Spike. There's a lot of cards that basically, and Fire Blast. I mean, this pretty much every card, every relevant card.
Obviously, that card just, when he Fate Sealed it, showed that it probably was the winning card. Ali in return should probably
it's
use
going to
his land.
No, he's going to wait,
wait?
because he put it to the bottom.
Oh, that's right, he put it at the bottom, yeah.
So he bolts him. And bolts him again.
And now he's to 3.
Now, Ali does have a card in his hand, but I don't know if he... Doesn't look like... He didn't slam it on the... Oh, no, he just changed him.
Lightning.
And I know that he does not have an answer in his hand.
Well, Wasteland,
but
top.
So he has to find something on top. and there's not many cards that actually will get him out of the situation.
No, that's a land, Stoneforge Mystic, and maybe...
and he packs it up. So Ali Aintrazi wins game 1. Just basically, I mean, not basically, completely burning him out of this matchup. Now, in the sideboard, Javier has a few tools to deal with Ali.
The first thing is he's got a lot of options there. Which ones do you think you would go to first?
Yeah, so he has a Spell Snare, and I don't think Spell Snare is particularly good. Really, only gets Searing Blades, which is almost definitely coming out. Does get Price of Progress. Maybe he just wants like a few more counter spells to deal with the burn spell. So I can see him being in Spell Snare just to defend against Price.
I mean, do you see really anything else? I mean,
there's not a ton left else. Cabal Therapy he does have. Cabal Therapy actually is particularly good against burn because a lot of cards have to stay in hand. A turn 1 Cabal Therapy, if you happen to be lucky, or if you just have a good idea of what's happening, has a chance of saving you 4 to 8 damage.
All right, so we know that Ali's going to take out the Searing Blazes. Are we looking at which one of these is he looking at bringing in?
Yeah, so he as we talked before, he had the Flame Rifts.
Yes.
I actually think Flame Rift probably is a good card for him to bring in, though it's not that Javier is without creatures, so it really depends whether Ali, I'm sure Ali would have been annoyed if he had drawn or had a Searing Blazes in his hand that game, because he really didn't have anything to target. So I think bringing in the Flame Rift is probably for the best.
Mindbreak Trap, maybe?
No, I don't think Mindbreak Trap's really doing anything here.
Okay.
It's only against the combo decks.
Right.
The other cards he could bring in is Vexing Shusher. Vexing Shusher is it's a hybrid card. It's actually red-green hybrid. It's a 2/2 that has an ability of you pay a red mana or a green mana if you had it, and it will make target spell uncounterable, and it's uncounterable itself. So what that will mean is the burn spells, once he's in play, always get through. They don't get Force of Will, they don't get counterspelled, they don't get spell pierced.
And that's good for him because that'll set up basically everything he needs. And against this deck that does have Force of Wills and...
Yeah, it does. The strange thing, I mean, I think against a countertop, a Miracles deck, it'd be much more clear to bring Shusher in. There is only 7 or maybe 9 after sideboard counter spells, so Shusher is not on for too much. That being said, a lot of the fact that he has Spell Pierce makes me think maybe he wants to consider it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here. These guys are shuffling up. Again, for those of you joining us, we are round 11 of the SCG Invitational. This is the Legacy format of it. My name is Robert Martin. I'm joined in the booth by Ben Seck. You can follow us live and send us messages, comments, thoughts to the entire staff here at SCG Live, or at the hashtag SCGINVI. A lot of fun today. We're seeing a lot of interesting matches that we've seen so far today. I'm a lot of times Legacy can get a bag stigma of, well, it's we're only seeing certain decks. But today, I mean, it's nice to see that Legacy is just that format of just being able to go out there and offer you lots of variety.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, I would say the color that is winning the day today is red. Goblins and Burn. I mean, we've seen 2 Goblins decks, both undefeated as Goblin decks, except against each other.
I would have loved to seen the person who would have predicted ahead of time that red would be the color in Legacy that would be doing the best.
Yeah, actually, red really has been kind of suppressed a little bit lately. Goblins was not doing well. Burn basically didn't exist until Patrick Sullivan made top 4 with it last week in SCG Open LA. So, but Red's back with force and is doing extremely well.
Yeah, it was interesting. We did a interview that will hopefully go up this weekend. I did with Patrick Sullivan. And we talked a little bit about mono red and how much it means to him to be a red mage. And he goes, You don't understand how difficult it actually is to play a mono red deck. There are timing issues, things like that. Okay, let's take a look. Ali has Fire Blast.
He has a Flame Rift.
Flame Rift. Only one land though.
A Lava Spike. I think he might keep it here. I think he's considered. Yeah, he's kept it because Javier has already started. Javier is sacking his land, searching for a underground, which tends to indicate that he's going to play a black spell here, Cabal Therapy. Mainly because like he doesn't actually have a swamp, so he can't kind of like protect himself if he wants to play a black spell from Price of Progress.
There it is, Cabal Therapy.
Okay. So we don't know what he named, but it looks like he might have missed because no card got pulled out immediately. He has a Rift Bolt, a Lava Spike, a Vexing Shusher, a Flame Rift, Grim Lavamancer, Fire Blast, and a Scalding Tyrant.
Well, that was a very good call on your part that they brought in the Shusher.
Yeah, brought in Shusher, brought in Flame Rift. Very likely took out Searing Blaze and probably Goblin Guide.
Yeah, Javier attempted to name Goblin Guide as the creature and obviously missed on that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, if I was Ali, I would almost definitely bring out Goblin Guide. I think what you want to do is you want to nullify the opponent's creature removal, like if they happen to keep it in. So the good thing about naming Goblin Guide is it almost definitely indicates that Javier kept in his Swords to Plowshares, which are now, like, apart from hitting these Grim Lavamancers, pretty dead.
Does he now go? He has another Cabal Therapy in his hand. It looked like he had a top in his hand.
He had a Brainstorm. Yeah, so I think Cabal Therapy is probably not the right call right now, just because he saw one-offs for every card there. Now he can guarantee hit something. The problem with guaranteeing hit something is, like, 1-for-1s at this point, well, he's going for it.
Obviously, he finds something in there that's a threat that he wants out of the way right now.
Yeah, I think he's, like, if he's probably looking for something, it could be Fire Blast, just because of its general efficiency in this situation. But Fire Blast is obviously not going to affect him until the end of the game. So, Shusher. Okay, so it's interesting to say Shusher, especially in the face of like Fire Blast, and he doesn't have any counter spells in hand right now. So
Engineered Explosives.
Yep, Engineered Explosives for 1. Ali didn't draw a land last turn. Drew a Rift Bolt instead.
That is the risk when you only play 16 lands. Or I'm sorry.
You play, no, it's
19 lands.
Yeah,
19 lands. Sorry.
21.
Was it 21?
21. It's a 9.
9. Okay. 21 lands. Brainstorm. Land. Wow, 3 lands.
But he does have 2 of them being a sack land, so you'll be able to shuffle away 2 lands.
And he'll be more than happy to get rid of that Wasteland, because that Wasteland really does nothing for him in this matchup.
So in his hand he has a top and a Umezawa's Jitte and another sack land. So he's going to be able to kind of, like, you know, if he's able to hit with that Jitte, it's going to cause Ali a lot of trouble. It's just the life gain being the biggest part of it.
At the end of the turn, Ali used Lavamancer to hit for 2.
So Javier is likely going to sack his explosives to kill the Lavamancer. But the Lavamancer's done, I mean, some of his job already. I mean, he's like, there's no cards in the graveyard. Has no way of like doing shocking his opponent right now. So I don't think Ali is going to be too worried about, like, losing his guy right now.
Okay, there it is. Engineer Explosives.
If he hasn't drawn a land, I think he's likely to Rift Bolt and he is. And he hasn't drawn a land yet, so Ali's in a little bit of trouble just not having enough land. But on the flip side, Javier doesn't have much action.
He does have Brainstorm.
He has Brainstorm on top, which will obviously draw him a lot of options, as well as another sack land. But he does not have a creature to pair with his Jitte, which he really, really wants to get online as soon as possible.
So down goes top.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Okay, he's gonna play that one to play top.
Yeah. One of the funny things about like how Legacy plays is that often you will want to tap your dual lands or non-basic lands first, because you're trying to protect from wasteland. You're trying to give yourself like just mainly wasteland. And he plays Jitte.
Yeah, beginning of the turn, Rift Bolt hits. Still only at one land. Draws another Rift Bolt. Passes turn. Javier looks like he wants to sack that land, potentially.
Yeah, I think he wants to save it now, just so he can shuffle away the cards he sees at the top.
There it is, Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic is huge here. It's going to allow him to not only equip his Jitte, it's also going to allow him to search up a Batterskull, which is like pretty brutal at this point. With Ali being so short of mana.
Alright.
Though if he plays the Stoneforge right now, it's going to like almost definitely get hit with Rift Bolt, and there's not much he can do about it. But I think drawing the Batterskull is probably worth it.
Okay, so he will play it.
He's going to search for Batterskull. I think this game is fast getting kind of taken away from Ali. He is able to suppress that. He does not have the 5th land currently to cast Batterskull, which would also incidentally give him a creature to equip with Jitte.
Yeah, I like Batterskull and Jitte together. It seems like a very good combination to me, and it's not like Ali has many answers to that.
No, he doesn't have any artifact removal. He's basically he's on plan A right now. It's like burning to the face. Now he's got to decide whether he's going to hit the face or he's going to hit Stoneforge Mystic. There's a very big temptation to go to the face at this point, for the simple fact that if he has like 2 lava spikes, let's say it's 2 lava spikes.
Yes.
He's going to hit the face. He's going to actually be able to kill Ali if Javier if he draws a land. Doesn't look like he's drawn a land, so he's going to chain lightning So if he already had the chain lightning, he might have wanted to give himself to winning the game, because we know he has lava spike, we know he has fire blast. So what would have happened is he was going to be able to draw a mountain, play lava spike, play chain lightning, and then like fire blast into the face. As it stands, he didn't draw the land, so he wasn't able to like fire blast. So but he still has the chain lightning and was able to kill the
Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, he's going to draw off the top. We see land, Swords of Plowshares, and another card.
In Ali's hand, it looks like he has 2 Fire Blast, a Flame Rift, a Lava Mancer, a Lava Spike, and a Flame Rift.
And here comes Batterskull.
Okay. Now this is a big trouble.
He needs land badly.
And even if he has the land now, it's kind of like, it's tough. He doesn't really have the way of like creating 9 damage. He did draw the mountain.
He did draw a mountain.
But he does not have enough. He can only Flame Rift and Fire Blast right now.
He's got 2 Fire Blasts in his hand right now.
What he may do is he may Flame Rift, and then Javier is going to equip the Jitte onto the Batterskull, and he's probably going to like sack his mountains to sack his mountains to kill the germ token, which would basically stop him from gaining life. Now he would have no land.
Yeah.
So he's doing this right now. Bring down 5. But if he draws another mountain, he gets to like Lava Spike, and then another mountain. He basically gives him 2 draws. Javier would have to basically spend 1 turn returning it back to his hand, and then spend another turn putting it out again.
He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to hit Mountain though. We see swords, engineer explosives, and another land.
So actually, that swords is bad news for Ali, because what's going to happen if he keeps it is Ali's going to fire blast the germ token, because he that's the only way he can survive.
Okay, he equips the jet.
Right.
Comes in.
And then it's going to. Oh, he's just going to take it. Okay. So that's crazy. It really kind of represents an 8-point swing for Javier. An 8-point swing is just too much, really, at this stage of the game. And then if you want to if he wants to just pump it next turn, he's going to have the trouble where he can plow it too. So he can gain 16 life next turn if he really wants to.
Yeah, this is where I think he would be plowing it right now. There it is.
Oh no, yeah, he's got to plow the. I think now he has the Jitte active. I think he can afford to plow the spin the plow on the
nope, and just
Lava Master. Yeah, so as it turns out, it probably wouldn't have worked out if he fire blasted the germ token, but it probably may have given him a better long shot, even though it puts him to no permanence in play.
Well, now that Ali goes back on the play, very important for him to get out early in this match, obviously with mono red burn. Javier looks very content with his deck. Ali's searching out other options. What do you think he might have switched out now?
Yeah, I think he may actually board out the shutters.
Okay.
I think knowing that Javier has the plows, he probably wants to have guide on the play. So, at least with guide, you're able to sometimes get in for 2, even in the face of Swords to Plowshares. I think Vexing Shusher is showing that he didn't really have a lot of counter magic available. The fact that he named Goblin Guide on turn 1, Javier did, seems to indicate that he was going to keep in the plows.
Yes. All right, well, so for those of you joining us, we are round 11 of the SCG Invitational. Legacy portion. We have this round and one more round of Legacy to go until we go to Standard. Ali Aintrazi, Javier playing round game 3. Plenty of time left for both these because Ali's deck goes really fast. I'm joined in the booth by Ben Sec. And we are shuffling up. Again, the one thing Adrian and I have talked about earlier, and I know this may seem repetitive, but the sportsmanship between these two.
Yeah,
and
no.
We've been seeing this all weekend long, and we admit there's a lot of money at stake. And a match like this, I mean, a win and a loss could put you right up there in the top 8, drop you maybe down in the mid to low 20s.
No, I think there's often a little bit of a misconception that high level Magic doesn't have as much sportsmanship because there's so much at stake. Actually, I think overall, as a Magic player, you're very much benefited to be a nice guy. I mean, it really helps you within the community. It means that people are less likely to kind of rules lawyer you. And to be honest, I mean, it just makes playing Magic a much more pleasant experience. And so, I know that the judges and the DCI have worked very hard to kind of root out a lot more of the less desirable elements of tournament play, and I think they've really succeeded. I mean, there's much less lack of sportsmanship, much less cheating.
We'll look at this weekend, for example. We have You have people that are coming down watching all these matches up on the stage there. You can see Patrick Sullivan back there in his Atlanta Hawks jersey. I mean, there are a lot of people watching these matches, and there are people, the fans aren't interrupting. A lot of events, the fans try to put themselves in the matches, and when they shouldn't be. And that's the one thing that's really nice about Magic, is that these players, and spectators especially, very considerate of the people at hand playing.
Yeah. So this is Patrick Sullivan basically probably cheering on his creation.
All right.
Ali on the play. We're not sure if he's keeping. I would say Javier is almost definitely keeping. He has a Brainstorm at Sackland.
Snapcaster Mage.
Snapcaster Mage, as well as I believe, is that a Stoneforge Mystic as well? So pretty much every piece of the pie that he needs.
Okay, Ali goes Scalding Tarn, Cracking for a Mountain. Hopefully seeing a first turn Goblin Guide out of him to get the ball rolling quickly, or Grim Lavamancer.
Oh, that actually might not be a Stoneforge Mystic. It looks like it could be a Lingering Souls.
There's the Goblin Guide.
Oh. And a Plow, so that Goblin Guide is probably not long for this world.
So, alright.
So
happens to have that wonderfully shiny foil plane. Pass turn.
The funny thing is, like, oh, that is not. So a Stoneforge Mystic is revealed. A lot of times, players do not attack on turn 2, especially when they know that, like, in this case, Ali knew Javier had a Plow.
Yeah.
They wouldn't attack because they don't want to give them the chance of getting that land. And sometimes that land could be the extra land that they really needed, or the card under it could be the card they need. And it's not like the Plow is going away, so so Javier would probably still play it.
Ali cracks another Scalding Tarns. That should take him to 18. Grim Lavamancer.
Grim Lavamancer spikes him, bring Javier down to 15. Now he's he would be a little bit afraid to play the Stoneforge Mystic into the Lavamancer, which already has some cards in the graveyard to remove.
He has 3 cards in the graveyard, 2 lands, and that spike he just played. He's going to play it anyways.
Yep. Play it anyway. Needs to get the Jitte. If it is actually Lingering Souls that are in his hand, he'll have a few creatures basically to be able to equip.
Okay, he goes and grabs the Jitte, and we'll offer Ali to cut, and we'll pass the turn. Goblin Guide tried to do its job, but Goblin Guide revealed a lot more than I think that Ali wanted to see.
Yeah, no, those 2 cards that he revealed were like pretty brutal, like the Swords of Plashes and the Mystic.
And it does look like, yeah, you're right. He does look like he has Lingering Souls in his hand. That's a 3rd Scalding Tarn.
Okay, so it kills the Mystic before it becomes active. He's passing the turn. Either tending to indicate that he has some amount of land in his hand, while still kind of, because if he had a Spike, Flame Rift, Chain Lightning, it's very likely that he would play them right then.
Okay, Javier plays a fetch land, passes turn. Ali on that turn, before the end of the turn, cracks his 3rd Scalding Tarn, taking him down to 17.
So Javier sacks in response. Probably getting a basic land. He's being fairly cautious about playing around Pirates of Progress. He only has 3 basic lands in his deck though, so he's only got 1 more left.
All right. So it's Snapcaster.
He's plowing Ali's Grim Lavamancer at end of Ali's turn, so he doesn't get another shock out of it. Also provides him with a body for Jitte next turn.
Been very interesting. Ali's cracked three Scalding Tarns and has managed to get all his life back thanks to him using Sword to Plowshares on stuff.
Yeah, so this is a really, really important, like, usually he'd leave himself open for gaining life on the Jitte, but Sulfuric Vortex basically suppresses that. Also, kind of puts Javier in a clock. I mean, this thing is two a turn. It's why it's one of the premier kind of cards that exists in this deck.
And he does not have an answer for it.
Yeah, unless he brought in the Vindicate, he has really awkward ways of getting rid of it. I think the only other way is Engineered Explosives for 3. And I think apart from that, it's there. It's sticked.
Okay, he swings, hits for 2, takes Ali to 18.
Plays a Wasteland.
Yeah.
Playing the Wasteland is, I think, a little dangerous at this point, for the simple fact that I think now he's leaves himself open to getting priced twice.
Rites of Progress for
Yeah.
4. But does he? Well, what he could do is he could Wasteland. Oh no, he tapped it.
He tapped
So he could Wasteland his own other land and get a basic out there if he wanted to.
Yeah, but he also has a sackland available to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of the thing that, like, playing against Mono Red Burn, it really is about the inches. Like, you can't afford to kind of like expose yourself.
Searing
wow,
Blaze.
wow! Like, so Ali actually kept in the Searing Blazes, probably to.
There's the Force of Will, which he can play with.
He probably is going to consider forcing it.
He's got that with another Brainstorm.
Mainly because I think he needs to keep the pressure on, because the game's going to end like soon. Pretty soon. I mean, it does save him 3 damage as well. So Ali basically has a Fire Blast in his hand. He's going to pass the Javier. Javier is going to go down to 9.
Draws another land that gives him 3 lands or 2 lands and a Jitte in his hand.
Yeah, I think he might even have a basic now in his hand, so he can't even play the sack land, like, for any land. No, he doesn't have a land in play. He has a Glacial Fortress, I think.
Yeah.
But playing more lands not necessarily great here. Doesn't want to expose himself too much more to Price of Progress.
And he has the mana to cast the Jace.
Yeah, so the way
things like that. Okay, here comes the Jit.
So he's basically doing the Jit just for this Giant Growth effect. The biggest problem with tapping out there is, I think he only has 2 cards in hand.
None of them are force. He's got 2 lands.
Yeah, so he actually, like, Ali can draw pretty much anything because he has a Fire Blast in hand. Anything that does like 2 damage or more, which he does.
That will take him to 7, or next turn Javier will go to 7.
So
right.
Flame Rift, which will definitely more than 2. Actually, it's going to, like, and I mean, I don't believe Ali has, Javi has any way out of this.
There it is. That's
puts him down to 1, and then the Sulfuric Vortex is going to do the final damage.
Pass his turn, and that's it.
Can't get any life from the Jitte because of the Sulfuric Vortex, and he's conceding.
Well, congratulations to Ali Aintrazi. Mono Red Burn. It's the weekend of Legacy Red.
Yes.
And I'm